Hey guys, it's Emma Figling with TYT Politics. By the way, tytnetwork.com/go. Have I told you to do it? Get us more reporters. Get us more resources. TYT Politics. So I want to go quickly over this very quick Trump story. Trump basically said that he doesn't need daily briefings. So Donald Trump is historically idiotic. He's very smart at one thing, reading a crowd. He has the ability to understand what Americans are thinking, what they want, and he can judge a crowd and he can crowd surf for the rest of his life. He understands what's popular. He's a showman. But when it comes to the day-to-day aspects of being president, he's not very intelligent, and some of this is actually incredibly scary. So he said the other day, this is reading from a Politico article, that he does not need to receive the presidential intelligence briefing every day, suggesting in an interview that such briefings are repetitive, and he is happy to rely on those around him on matters of intelligence and national security. Meaning you're too lazy and you would rather watch cable news all day where they are talking about you and you can tweet angrily about them instead of actually doing the hard work of being president and protecting our country. Trump has been given the Daily Intelligence Briefing just a handful of times since winning the White House last month, alarming some in the national security community. But those briefings do not always change day to day, Trump told Fox News Sunday host Chris Wallace in an interview taped over the weekend. And when he does receive the briefing, Trump says that he always instructs those offering him the information to contact him should new developments emerge. I guess you're a little too busy grooming your cotton candy hair to pay attention to the national security threats of the country. And is it surprising, given the complete disregard that you have shown the CIA and other intelligence communities when they're talking about what's going on in Russia? I'm not even saying that the Russians helped you get elected. I want there to be an investigation, but his utter disregard for it doesn't fit my narrative. It's not convenient to me. Blech. It just goes to show who he is. So, this is an exact quote from him. "You know, I'm like a smart person. I don't have to be told the same thing in the same words every single day for the next 8 years. Could be 8 years, but 8 years. I don't need that," Trump said. "But if something should change, let us know." So yeah, you don't need it. You think you don't need it because you're incredibly arrogant and narcissistic. But you know what people need? Their president to be prepared for anything and everything. And you are only focused on what you need, because that's what this whole thing is about, right? It's about you. It's about stroking your ego. It's about making you feel even better about yourself. That's why you ran for president in the first place, right? Did you really think you could do a better job for the country? If you actually did think, you would be hands-on with everything, but you're just a delegator, which is short term for I'm too lazy to do anything and do the actual hard work and the grunt work of being president of the United States. Oh my Lord. One of the most powerful people in this country who can't even be bothered to pretend like he's going to have daily intelligence briefings. At least Bush pretended to want to have intelligence briefings and tried to put on a public face that he was getting these intelligence briefings. But let's talk about Bush for a second. So remember that memo? Bin Laden determined to strike in the United States? Prepared by the CIA and given to U.S. President George W. Bush in August of 2001. What happened in September 2001? I've been told that we should never forget. Because I haven't forgotten. It seems like George W. Bush seemed to forget that memo, and it seems like Donald Trump forgot about 9/11. He seemed to have forgotten about Rudy Giuliani, but that's a separate issue. Giuliani will never forget 9/11. I don't know if you guys have heard that he was mayor at that time. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but I'm on a tangent. So Donald Trump seems to forget that there was a president at the time who refused to read those briefings. The brief that was given to President Bush at the time warned about Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden attacking the United States about a little over a month before it happened. But Bush was too lazy to actually read those intelligence briefings, and look what happened. So continuing with Donald Trump, but I think he's Bush on steroids. In lieu of receiving daily briefings every day, Trump said that the retired generals he has nominated for his cabinet, James Mattis as Secretary of Defense and John Kelly as Secretary of Homeland Security, are being regularly briefed. As is Vice President-elect Mike Pence, who Trump called one of my very good decisions. So the best case scenario is that Trump doesn't get the briefings every day, and the worst case scenario is that Trump doesn't get the briefings every day. It's both, because if he doesn't get them, then he's woefully unprepared, but at least you have competent-ish people running it. But the downside is that competent-ish people are running it, and they're nuts. Like, you can think Trump's a crowd surfer that was just going to do what pleases the people and he wants to get reelected, and he's a reality show star that just wants to be liked and have people backing him. But the people that he's promoted under him and the people that he's appointed to these positions are insidious, are bad people. Mike Pence is a bad man, and he's no dummy. Mad Dog Mattis is a bad man, and he's no dummy. And look what we have. So again, best case scenario, Trump's incompetence won't ruin it, but worst case scenario is that their competence will ruin it, will ruin our country and send us to war. So who knows? But this is also why I like Bernie Sanders' strategy of public pressure on Donald Trump. Because the only thing that Donald Trump will listen to is cable news and are people criticizing him, or if he even listens to that, or are people praising him for certain things. So if he does something right, then we'll be praising him. Maybe he'll do more of that. That's the only hope with Donald Trump, is that he wants to be liked. That's the only hope. But he surrounded himself with an infrastructure of people that are so malevolent and are really the worst of the worst in terms of how you can, of Republican and conservative politicians. Racist, xenophobic, in Mike Pence's case, religious zealots, war hawkish, warmongers, people that we never wanted to run our country once Bush came out of office. So, but they're back. And they're back with absolutely unchecked power. The only potential check is public pressure like Bernie Sanders is doing and holding their feet to the fire. A political revolution, even if it is to stop someone as scary as Donald Trump and his markedly more intelligent underlings. All right, guys, have a great day. TYTnetwork.com/go. Go!